Rip it. Rip it real good. Hey gang, Jeff Stone here with day 37 of the year 2016 at magicreviewed.com. Today we're looking at another Kyle P. Merck effect, which is called ripped and reversed. A torn and restored bill has never looked like this. So I'm going to read, so basically you saw that and you heard the little claim there. And sorry, this is green, so it's probably looking weird on the screen. Then I'm going to read the back of the package here. It says, ripped and reversed. Imagine being able to borrow a bill, rip it in half, and restore it right in front of a spectator. Now imagine that it was restored not along the tear, but against the opposing straight edge. No glue, no tape, no kidding. That's the pitch. So along the straight edges, not the tear, maybe something like this, right? So based on what I just read and the packaging, I just want to ask you a question, and I want you to seriously ponder it for a second, and I'm actually going to pause for a moment and have a little sip of water while you think about this question. Based on what I just read to you, what do you think you're purchasing? I don't want to lead you in any direction, just to answer that question in your mind. What do you think that you're purchasing? What are you getting? Okay, now, whatever you're thinking that you're getting, I'm going to read the next thing here. So this is the packaging. It just opens up. That bill was inside this thing. And then it says this. Ripped and reversed. Ripped and reversed is a combination of two classic plots. It is a combination of both the torn and restored bill and the mismade bill plot. The performer tears a bill in half, folds it up, and when it is restored along the usually opposing straight edges, leaving the tears on the outside of the bill. So again, describing that. So now, based on that, what is it you think you're getting? My gut tells me that you're probably expecting that you're buying a routine or an effect. That you're not just simply buying this bill. So let me read to you the next line. The next line says, since this is a utility item, you can use your favorite form of bill switch to accomplish this. Ripped and reversed can be used in place of any switch requiring a TT, parentheses, $100 bill switch, or a TT-less, without TT switch, i.e. shuttle pass, e.g. shuttle pass, or even using a prop such as a double envelope or a gypsy switch. I don't know what a gypsy switch is. Let me ask you a question. If you saw an advertisement that said it was a magic wand that was being sold, and it said, with this magic wand, show an empty hand, and then tap your fingers and a coin will appear at your fingertips. And so you buy it. And you get the wand home, and the instructions say, well, the magic wand is a utility prop, so use your favorite coin production to make the effect happen. My gut tells me you would not be happy with that purchase. So I feel like this is kind of the same thing. All signs point to this is an effect. It's even got a name, ripped and restored. He even says ripped and restored is a combination of two plots. And then he describes it and he says, imagine being able to borrow a bill, rip it in half. Imagine being able to show an empty hand and then tap it and restore it right in front of your spectator. Imagine after tapping it, a coin appears. Now imagine that it was not restored along the tear, but against the opposing straight edge. Now imagine that you can produce a second coin. No glue, no tape, no kidding. No glue, no tape, no kidding. And what you're buying is a wand and instructions that simply say, use sleight of hand to create the effect we advertised. So I have a little bit of a problem with this. I'm in a pickle, quandary, quagmire, some dilemma. I don't know. I'm not sure how to go on this one. I mean, I've already written a review up and came to a conclusion. If this were just you're buying a utility prop and they said, here is what you're getting. It's a bill that looks like this, and so that you can apply your favorite bill switch methods for a torn and restore bill. If that were that, more elegantly written or eloquently or eloquently, I don't know, better written, more gooder writing. If that was, but that concept, if that's what the ad copy said, then it's just a no-brainer. Because this is, it's real money. It's very well made. The cuts, and what I mean by that, it's money, so it's well made. But what I meant is, you can really sell this illusion. It's hard to do here, but that's going to line up. It looks really good. Now, because of the way these are made, they're cut from different sheets of, one sheet of money, but these are actually from two separate bills. So some care was definitely taken to make sure it's ripped in that way. And he's even got a little tip, because the serial numbers aren't going to actually be the same. That's one thing that's always bugged me about mismade bill things. He has a nice little tip that's in here in all of this huge instructions that you get. Over here, there's a little tip about how to overcome that. That's really, I think, is really smart and really clever. And there's a couple little tips on how to just handle this bill. But I'm not entirely even overly upset about it saying use your own bill switch. But here's the problem. My guess is when I read this to you, imagine being able to borrow a dollar bill, rip it in half, and restore it right in front of a spectator. Now imagine that it was restored, this other weird way, right? I'm pretty sure you weren't thinking, holy crap, it's a borrowed bill and they get to keep this. Pretty sure you weren't thinking that. Or you might have been, and that doesn't mean you're wrong or that it was a foolish conclusion, because, it could be very possible that he came up with some way to be able to do that, to borrow a bill, do something weird with it, and give it back, and they can have it. And so that may have been one conclusion you came to. My guess is you probably didn't go to that conclusion. But if you did, you're going to be sorely upset, because you clearly can't do that, because you're just buying this. But let's just say that you assumed that, no, it's probably a bill switch, and that's this. So the next question is, okay, it's a borrowed bill. And I tear their bill in half. You're tearing it, and you're going to want your tears to kind of match this. And then you do a bill switch, and now you're left with this. You can't give it back to them. Otherwise, you're going to have to buy another one for yourself, and you're done for the night. You can't repeat it. So what do you do? Do you switch it again and give them back the torn pieces of their bill, their actual bill? Or do you do a third switch and switch it for a completely restored bill and give that to them? That's the kind of stuff that should be addressed in the product if you're going to advertise the way that this is. Now, to be fair, when I say advertise, I can't find ad copy anywhere on the internet for this. Kyle Merck is a very elusive character. I can't. There's hardly anything about him online. And in fact, if you want to buy this, I don't have a place to tell you where to buy it, other than to go on Facebook and say, "Hey, I want to buy this." I don't even know how much it costs. But he sent it to me and asked me if I'd review it, and I've tried to contact him and Vince Lowe to ask for the price, and I have not heard back from them. Maybe by the time this video goes live, I'll have heard the price and I'll just put it on the screen here. But I don't know what the price is on it. But I'm assuming it's reasonable. All his other stuff's reasonably priced. So just assuming the price is okay, at the very least, if you're going to be, I say advertising because that's what's written on the back. If you're going to be advertising that it sounds like an effect where you do this and everything, then let's talk about that effect in the instructions rather than simply saying, use your favorite coin production with this wand that we've supplied. And so let's talk about what to do in that situation when it is a borrowed bill. How do you do that? Because that's, maybe you bought this strictly because of that ad copy. Like, it's a borrowed bill and I rip it in half and restore it this weird way. I want to know how to do that. Because, you know, it took me a minute to even think through the fact that, holy cow, if I'm going to give them back their borrowed money, I have to have an extra bill on me. And if I'm going to do this all night long, I got to have a stack of bills on me for switching, because I'm giving them away every time. And in return, I'm getting a torn bill that goes in my pocket and hide it until I get home tonight and tape all these bills back together that I've switched out. So there's a lot of little things like that just were not discussed at all. So it's a little bit frustrating. But on the other hand, you know, I also get that you probably are thinking, well, I've got a great idea of a routine I would do with this, and I'm interested in Kyle's tips on how to deal with the serial number thing. I might be able to apply that to other mismade bill things, which you would be able to do, by the way. And so I could see why you're, you know, okay. So I can't say this is rubble. I can't. I don't even think it's grubble. I think it's still a gem. You know, in isolation, in a vacuum, just getting this, it's a gem. This is 5 stars. This thing's well, you know, it's beautiful. It's well made. It lines up perfectly and all that stuff. There's nothing I can say bad about that. But it's when you tie that in with what it seems like they're advertising, and in the first paragraph of the instructions, it certainly leads you to a path of, this is an effect that you purchased. But then the second paragraph goes right into, no, you did not purchase an effect. You purchased a utility. So I ended up going with 3 stars. This might be a case of a 2.75 star. I don't know. But I stick with 3 because, you know, everything is well made. It's good quality overall. It's just that you're not quite getting what you probably are thinking you're getting. Now, we all also know this. The star rating on some levels is irrelevant. Because if you in your head are going, I got a killer idea of what to do with a bill that looks like this, then probably just about any price is worth paying. I mean, you'd probably pay more than what he's probably actually charging. But price aside, my star rating's irrelevant. Because what you thought it was doesn't even matter. You now know what it is, and I've told you now what it is. And now that you know what it is, you can decide if it's useful to you or not. And so the star rating sometimes doesn't even matter. And this is probably one of those cases where it's not. You now know exactly what you're getting. You're getting this. That's it. And a couple tips from Kyle, which are really good tips. So that's why I feel okay with the 3-star rating. Anyway, 3 stars, Stone Status, gem, little g. It is time for you to please subscribe. Hopefully you can do it by clicking that, but if not, you know how to subscribe. You guys watch YouTube videos all the time. Like the video, thumbs up it, send it over to all your peeps on social media, and listen to the random iTunes song of the moment, which is Rock Me by Great White. Holy cow, flashback. Let me write that down. With my groovy pen I got for Christmas. Check this out. It's a puzzle. It twists and you can slide these things. Where am I at here? There we go. And you can slide those and then twist it. Anyway, I got it for Christmas. I love this. And it's a good pen. It writes really well. Anyway, Rock Me. So, Great White, man, when they came out in the 80s with Once Bitten, I can't remember if the album was called Once Bitten or if it was called Twice Shy or if it was called Once Bitten, Twice Shy. But anyway, that album was awesome. And I saw them live in concert in Florida. They were with Scorpions and Trickster. Trickster opened up. I don't know if you guys remember Trickster, but anyway. Yes, Trickster, Great White, and the Scorpions. I think that was my very first concert ever. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, the memories. So, tune in tomorrow, guys. Day 38. What is this? Kyle Merck Week. Area of Influence by Kyle Merck. Until then, you know what I'm about to do. Whoosh. Peace out.